Welcome to Silent Podcast, where we are anything but silent. And oh my lordy, we are so excited because we're back. Davey and I are podcasting about Survivor LRGs with a good one, Survivor Philadelphia, Season 3, Now or Never.
Now or never. And speaking of which, I thought it'd be a really great idea to share a quote that deals with the concept of now or never, or has the words now or never in it.
Okay.
So if you have, do you have one, Mark?
I do, yeah. Let's start a new tomorrow today, and that's from Neil Gaiman.
Okay. A little now or never action. I really like this quote. It says, "I have never let my schooling interfere with my education." And I just think that that's really clever, especially since I teach. And it seems like a lot of people on this cast have to deal with education. So just putting a pin there.
There's a large portion of this cast that are teachers or education adjacent, I feel like.
Yeah, I agree. It's nice to see.
There's also two DJs.
Two DJs.
I love it. I love it so much. Let's just dive right in. We got our dear friend Valencia. Hey there.
Hi, Valencia. It has been so long. We miss you.
It's been so long. And also, if people want to make any comments or anything like that, please chime in, make a comment on YouTube, and we'll pop it up. If you're listening to us afterwards or watching us afterwards, can't really pop it up, so watch it live. It pays to be live.
Yes.
I love so much like how incredible the intros and production quality is in Survivor Philadelphia.
Yes.
I remember I commented about last season, like this is just so much fun. Like how Alex is like one of the best hosts out there, in my personal opinion.
I was gonna say beautiful. Like the opening was so beautiful. Like Jeff Probst, please move over because Alex is doing something so cinematic and just chef's kiss.
And it's also like what I love about it is that it's like a love letter to Philadelphia. Like this intro can only work for a Survivor season in Philadelphia. I remember that like last time with filming like a cheesesteak towards the end of the season and such like that. Like it's just the good humor of this is just so rich.
Yes.
Cool. Hashtag Team Mark. Thanks, Benaboo. It just was like it's so fun seeing him walking around at like all those amazing locations in Philadelphia. Yes. I visited a couple of those actually relatively recently, like the Love Sign and the Reading Market Food Hall. That stuff's like all really cool. If you're ever in Philly, you have to get some food at the Reading Market Food Hall.
Yeah, I mean this Survivor Philly has made me really want to go to Philly. I was supposed to go to Philly last year, but I missed out because I was traveling overseas.
I went last year for one of our mutual friends' premiere party for Survivor.
Oh, lovely.
Yeah. Lovely. Maybe funny, that was the reason why you're supposed to go. We don't know. I don't know. Mm-hmm. Davey knows. Davey keeps all this.
Tabs.
So, but like, it's just, I also like, I really want to like comment on that. I want to say drone shot of, it starts off close on Alex and like pulls all the way to like far on the other side of the park. Like that is, I don't know how they did that. Like if that was just a drone or if that was just a really cool like way to shoot. I don't know how they did it, but it made me happy.
Yeah, it made me really happy. I mean, I grew up with like jacks and like Legos. I didn't grow up with drones, and so seeing these beautiful shots, like these aerodynamic shots, I'm like, wow, we got budget. We have a big shout out to all of the alum that are part of Survivor Philly Season 3 because like it takes dedicated alum to really make a LRG and like to film it in the way that it has been. So I just want to give a shout out to all of the crew and all of the people that have attributed to the success of episode 1. It was so well done. And I think during our draft, we were talking about like, I really want like messy votes. I really want dynamic characters. I really want the whole gamut. And you get what you ask for.
And it's like, it's so cool. Like we're watching the credits at the end, like, oh yeah, that's Lauren from last season. That's like,
Yes.
It's really cool just seeing everyone's
Yeah.
names and be like, I
Yeah.
remember that person. Or
Yeah.
it shows that like the game that Alex and his team have created has expanded and is enveloping more people. I saw Matt Scott, my winner pick from last season, is an EP from this season. So it's cool.
Yeah. Yeah.
Can I talk about something that like really kind of like fucked my brain up in a good way?
Go ahead.
Okay, so like after that whole like intro, it cuts to like what you think is the start of the episode. Well, it's the start of the episode, but you think it's like chronologically the start of the episode.
Oh yes.
Like since Alex to me, like it sounds like for the first like 10 seconds of it, it sounds like it's the like welcome, but it's like no, this game is going on for like 6 hours at this point.
I know.
And then it's like ends at 6 hours earlier. My brain, like I'm like watching, like, oh my god, this is like insane. Like I love how they're using flash forwards in this season so far. They do it twice in this episode.
Yeah, I think the concept of now or never translating into time and how we think of it as like relative science bodes really well for the cinematic shots and the suspense of the game. I'm very excited and I'm seated.
I'm so excited. Like literally, I was watching the premiere of it last week, and I think I'll probably watch the next episode live also.
Yeah.
But like just like the everyone's like, what just happened? Like, how did you do that? Like,
yeah.
And I think I caught something on my second watch of this, because of where this episode goes, and I'm okay if I'm wrong. We'll find out tomorrow.
We'll find out for tomorrow.
But in Alex's intro monologue to the cast, he talks about how the first part of the game will be dealing with the past. There'll be a brief moment where it'll deal with the present, and the rest of the game will be dealing with the future. Now, should I talk about my theory that I told you about now or later?
I guess it's now or never.
Fine, I guess I'll do it now. I think this is going to be an Edge of Extinction season.
Oh, interesting. I think that like now or never decisions are gonna be like amplified in a big way. I think that is a valid theory, and I think that I don't know. We'll see.
Well, I mean, like the reason, like, okay, so like when you think of the seasons of that have Edge of Extinctions, people always like, oh man, I made a mistake in the past. That's what got me out. And now I'm back in the game, and like it's like in Edge of Extinction, the initial season. Rick Devens, he played kind of like, you know, loosey goosey, and then he gets voted out and gets back in the game, and he's like, fuck this noise, I'm gonna turn shit up, and then he almost won the whole season.
Yeah.
That's really great. Isaiah's crying now.
I'm so unserious, like you know. But yeah, I think that is a good theory. I don't have any theories. I have low expectations and high hopes. And I like when I asked for messiness or dynamic characters during our draft, I think that it's embodied because the title of this episode is I Don't Care About Fair, which listen, I have never said those words before because I always care about fairness. Like, is that challenge equal? Like, is there equity there? Is there access? But when I hear the title, the first one out of the gate being I Don't Care About Fair, I'm hooked. I'm going to be seated.
Yeah. It's great.
Yeah.
I love the mystery of what the season is.
Yeah.
Like, and I think like as a fan of these, and a fan of just good dynamic storytelling, it's just really fun. Like, I've been rewatching Survivor San Juan del Sur because my fiance has never watched it before. And that's one of I've been showing the seasons she hasn't seen before. And that's like one of those seasons that I think I've loved it since the drop because I'm such a big Jeremy and Natalie and Josh fan. So, but like watching that season.
Wait.
What?
Oh no! I mean, those are three really great Survivor castaways. I love Natalie and Jeremy with all of my heart. Also, robbed that you didn't talk about Reed, Baylor, and Missy.
Well, Missy, I have the opinions of Missy that everyone else does.
I
Baylor I actually like a lot, and I've liked her a lot in this rewatch. But it's that thing of like,
she's a mom. I know she's your mom, but how old are you? Like 20 something?
Me?
If you're a brat, I'm gonna call you a brat.
But it's a thing of like you're watching this and like that season, like cool. It's got the expectations of like Blood versus Water 1, but like it becomes quickly a revenge arc.
Yeah.
And it's like it's so cool watching how it unfolds. And then like the Keith Nail of it all, who's like absolute god tier player.
Oh my god.
So it's a thing of like I love watching these type of seasons where like I don't know what's gonna happen, but I'm on the ride. I'm on the ride already for this.
Mm-hmm. Yes, I think that we are leaning into our tangent, but I will say Keith Nell is one of my favorite Survivor castaways. Rest in power. Like, I love that guy.
Yeah. We can talk all we want about. Let's just like rename this podcast the Keith Nell Cast. I just imagine Alex send me a message like, "No, Mark, that wasn't nice."
Yeah.
But yeah, like okay, so the games that deals concept of time. And like it basically just jumps right into that first immunity challenge, which is either a Harry Styles or Prince reference, which is Sign of the Times, or just time.
That was funny. That was funny.
I love Prince, so my brain went straight when I was watching it. So I'm like, that's Prince. I'm like, oh wait, that's also Keith. That's also Harry Styles. I almost just said Keith Nail, which is not accurate. Unless Keith Nail wrote a song called Sign of the Times.
No, I don't think he did. I think the intro is really interesting because learning from your past and then turning it out for the future, but like also needing to stay in the present is just a very, like a lot of seasoned players have and can do it. I'm really excited to see how this cast is able to utilize both of those actions, or I guess all three.
Yeah. It's also a fun thing of like it's the first minute of the game and you're going right into a challenge.
Yeah,
like there's no time to like get it, like to talk to anyone. You don't know anyone because this season they did a really good job of casting people that do not know each other. So like you're like, I have to win this challenge or do something that's going to keep me safe.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's a pretty cool challenge. Like so, 6 people on each team is going to go out into the field and untie puzzle pieces and bring them back, and then 2 people are going to put the puzzle together. And the puzzle is like one of those like triangle looking. Well, it's not a normal looking puzzle. It's not like clear ends or whatever.
Yeah. I think the challenge itself is pretty simple in like theory, but like hard in execution. I do think that the purple and green like back and forth, like who's first, who's like in the lead is really interesting. I think whenever a challenge has like a clear like leader, or like a challenge has like a tribe that's in the lead and they lose that lead or they get caught up, it's always so dynamic. But before we go deeper into the challenge, okay, Immunity Idol. That Immunity Idol, I want that in my salon. My salon.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, it's beautiful. I could put it in my dad's like on my dad's fireplace. Be like, look at this. It's beautiful.
Well, tribal immunity, right?
Yeah. Hello?
Well, you said Immunity Idol, so
sorry. I misspoke. The tribe idol that you win when you get immunity.
But it's really cool. You're right. Like it's like a small grandfathery clock. Like it looks like an antique.
Yeah.
And it's got like ivory coloring in it, which I'm like, that's pretty cool.
Yeah. I really like all the. I think this episode did a really good job of putting a lot of confessionals in. Because I got to learn a lot about Paige, Manfred, Ymir. I said Amir during the draft. I apologize. It's Ymir. And to me, like in the first parts of the challenge, I really enjoyed getting to know them.
And it was fascinating because like that first 2 people out there were Ryan and Amir. And they were all the farthest out, which I believe they both had an Immunity Idol clue.
Possibly.
We didn't learn for sure what Ryan had. We just saw he had a sack of like Amir's, and Amir like had a lot more issues opening the lock type, like the knot to get it out.
Yeah. And that's what I like was referring to too. Like Ryan was running so strong, like he had a strong lead, and then Ymir just like caught up to him like so fast, and it really was a battle of wits. I do have a question. Would you rather run and untie, or would you rather do the puzzle? Or I guess do the lock?
It's so tricky because it's that first time, like it's your first time, like actually doing it. I'm not a great runner. I'm okay at puzzles, but like I'm not like that person's like, yeah, I'll do the puzzle every time I like get a chance. So like I feel like I'd rather be towards the end of the running thing, so I don't have to run as far because I do have a bad leg. And then like deal with that knot, and then like be like, I'm good. I did my help. Hopefully it didn't slow us down. What about you, Davey?
Wait, you'd run and untie as long as it was close. That's what I'm hearing you say?
Yeah, towards the
Yeah.
end of the like 6 people.
Yeah. I would run and untie too. But I guess it would depend. This is so like silly of me. It would depend on if I had cut my nails the night before. Because I usually like to play with shorter nails. But if I have a little bit of an edge with like my nails, I would love to untie. I would not volunteer for the puzzle. I mean, it looks like a pretty simple puzzle like at first, but I'm not putting my game on the line because I fucked up a puzzle.
There was a lot of like negative space in it, like because each puzzle was green or purple, and
Yeah.
it looked like there was probably like 5 or 6 pieces that had nothing on
Yeah.
them.
Yeah.
And it was a 20-piece puzzle, I think they said.
Yeah. I mean, are you referring to the negative space of the entire puzzle or the negative space because Ryan had forgotten pieces?
That was so funny though, because he was so focused on tying that clue or whatever it is, and he runs back, and then Alex is like, Ryan left his pieces, and you see him here just like still trying to like get it all out.
I know. Amir did that.
Yeah, I mean, like,
He did that.
It's a thing of like puzzles. As long as you can see the design in theory are easy, right?
Mm-hmm.
In practicality, not necessarily. But
yeah. I putting a pin in Ryan because he does have a confessional later. But the showing in this challenge is like so funny to me.
We have an actual comment here that I think is pretty cool from
what?
The current winner of Survivor Philly. Spoiler alert from season 2. Chrissy McNamara is like, hey guys, the way they did confessionals this year was different. They shut things down for a few minutes each round to get the confessionals, and it paid off. I agree. Yeah.
Yes. Okay. I'm a big proponent of like shutting the round down and everybody getting confessional because, like, to me, equity is important. When you hear equal voices, and like, no matter if you did well or you kind of flopped that round, like, you still are able to say how you felt during the round and how, it all works out. So I'm very happy that we're hearing a lot of the confessionals. Like, you can feel it. The quality of them is really strong.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a good dynamic cast, and I really am enjoying how they're telling their story too.
Oh yeah.
And it's interesting because like we're at that point where it's a lot of things that we watched last week from the draft.
Yeah.
And I'm sure we'll have a lot more to say in confessionals next time when there's more newer confessionals, because I feel like a lot of these were re-edited versions of their Meet Ryan package for at least half the episode, I'd say.
Yeah. I also wrote here, Kristen and Robinette, a lead is so misleading sometimes because Jaleesa and Johnny made up time. I think those were the players that were doing the puzzle.
Mm-hmm.
I have seen it happen, and I've also been a part of it. I was saying ooh when Alex was like, hey, we need to add a third person because y'all are taking too long. Like, that always is so funny to me because puzzles usually should be finished like that, but there's so many things that are going on, and there's so many factors of, okay, this piece doesn't go here, we also have to beat the other team, that I was really happy to see I think Natasha, and I forget the other player, I'm so sorry.
Jen was the other one that came in.
Come in and like really slam that puzzle. Sometimes you need 3 brains.
I do wish that we saw what the answer on the combination lock was, because they showed people doing it, but you never actually saw it.
Mm-hmm.
It was a 4-letter lock, I think, but I'm not positive.
I think it was 5 letters.
Because it was 5 letters, I think it would be money, right? Like that would make sense. Because money was inside at the time, like it was like an hourglass, like a dollar sign in there.
Yeah. Yeah.
But regardless, it was actually pretty close, the whole challenge.
It was very close.
It looked like it literally came down to basically figuring out that lock.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I want to make sure the team names correctly. Fairmount wins, which is the Green Tribe. What the hell? And yeah, and like it's always interesting seeing that first swing because like, man, I have time to actually make friends and like make real bonds versus holy shit, I hope I'm not going home.
Yeah, I agree. Fairmount wins, congratulations. I was a little worried because a lot of the people we put on our draft are on Roxborough.
Well, a lot of my people are, right? Because
I have some Roxborough people.
You have some. I think we both have 3 of each tribe. So I think I have 5 Roxborough. I know I took the ding this week. I know that.
Anyways, okay, so it goes into I think Fairmount's like post win. Timmy says he has a way with words. Honestly, I'm gonna say this. I would listen to anything that Timmy said because he has like a soothing and calm like demeanor about him. Like I feel like he knows what he's talking about, and I would listen and be like a great ally. And then as I'm like swooning over this like calming voice, he put something into his pocket. Did you see that?
What the fuck was that? I said, I rewound it. Like it was a green little package.
I know. Maybe me clocking him and being like, oh, you have a way with words. I'll listen to anything you say. Oh, I see you put that into your pocket. Now we're bound in this game for the rest of the game because I see what you did. No, I'm just kidding. No, but I'm really excited to see what Timmy can do moving forward.
I really have I have big expectations for him, honestly.
Me too.
He's the only person this cast that I had any idea who they were before this season even shot because I knew through like the online gaming world. And he's always just a very good presence. Like he's fun to play with. He's kind, but he's also not afraid to make the moves. So
yeah. Then we get Kristen, PhD, Women in STEM. PhD stands for Pretty Huge Deal. Yes. I don't have like drafter's remorse because like in the mode I never looked back to the past. But I do like how honest and real and the energy she brings. She's a big personality.
I literally wrote down like good energy from what I saw today. Like in this episode, I was just like, we don't get that much from her, but like you see her in the conversations, you see her that she's like a good goofy personality, which you kind of want in a one-day game, and easy to be around.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Then
we get Ryan.
Wait, you skipped over Natasha.
Did I skip over Natasha?
Yeah.
Oh no, yeah, you were right. I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to skip over her.
It's okay. Because I was gonna really take out my pin for Ryan. Natasha, great at puzzles. So you said this during the draft, and I like felt it during this episode. But she's very understanding. Like she knows how to utilize her emotions and like really connect with people. And also she works in DEI, so like I really like seeing that, and I think when you are wholesome in your real life and you know thyself, you can really bring, that edge to the game. So I'm really excited to see what she can do.
So part of the reason I actually drafted her is because like what I saw in her is like what I see in you as a person.
Moi?
Yeah, like I'm not even joking about this. Like because like I saw like a really good, kind understanding in her heart, but also like the ferocity that you can have while being kind. You know what I mean? But like the empath energy that I really wanted in my team, I really want. Like, she was one of the ones that was like, there are people that like knew I really, really wanted, and then there are people that I'm like, I pretty much want, and she was one of the ones like in that like top of that second tier where I'm like, I like what I'm seeing, and I don't know why, but I really want, like, I feel positive about her, you know?
Yeah, I do.
Also, Matt Scott is in the
We're
chat.
back, baby.
Yeah,
Yes, we are.
from season 2.
Yes. Okay, taking out my pen.
Okay.
Ryan, you can go first about Ryan.
Oh boy, he's gonna bring some fun. I don't know if it's gonna be good fun, but it's gonna be a very fun watch. I could tell.
Mm-hmm.
I have no idea what he's gonna do. I'm a little bit scared of that. It's a very weird, chaotic energy that I do see in myself.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not like entirely bad because I think I'm pretty freaking dope.
Mm-hmm.
But like, I'm scared for him, bro. I'm scared for him once he gets like merged or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
You know.
See, okay, and that's why that was my pin. Like, know thyself. I think that he states like, oh, I think that people are gonna think that I'm this like broy jock. I don't remember the verbiage, but I loved how he clocked his own perception, and like how he's gonna try to maneuver it. And I think that it was like funny that he left the pieces. But the funny thing is like he plays D1 football, or he played D1 football. I remember in the draft being like, I'm like, this for the girls, the gays, and the days. Like, he has to know that he's hot. And I was like, is he just like this like serious person that is gonna like juggernaut his way through the game? And then he starts gyrating his hips as an exotic dancer. I nearly fell out of my chair. I was like, damn, Ryan. See, like, this is the energy that you should bring, because if you can like disarm and subvert people's expectations of you, you are good as gold.
Yeah.
And thank you for that clip at 24 minutes.
Yeah, I'm really curious what I've now seen twice and did not catch at 24 minutes. But I honestly, I'm gonna say this because I feel like I just came off a little bit harsh, and I don't ever want to do that. Make people feel like oh, Mark doesn't like me or whatever. I have no issue with Ryan. I never met you, but you seem like a cool dude, and I hope you do well.
Mark, yeah.
And also I hope you had a good experience. So
I don't think that you were that harsh, to be honest. I feel like you just you got to own what you got to say. But speaking along the same lines, I am gonna go on record and say I misjudged Ben.
Okay.
Because I felt
you gave me a look when I drafted him.
I did. I was like, oh, there's something about Ben where I don't know, like, I don't know where his energy is, like what is he gonna do? And then I watched them, and I just like loved their energy, super positive. And I did take a little issue when they were like, just tell her it's Amir, tell her that I'm Amir, and I was like, don't you dare touch him, don't touch Amir. But I liked seeing Ben being dynamic.
Yeah,
I really like that.
Like, they gave me a really good, like, fun, positive energy during like the videos, and that's one reason why I was like, I have to draft them if I can. And everything I've been seeing so far is just like really good. Like, I'm in this game as a game, but also to have fun and like also like try to win.
Yeah.
Like the way that Ben handles like the second half of this episode was so beautiful. Like, when you have 15 minutes, you have to you should listen to people. And that's what Ben does. That's at least the way I gather it. I'm really excited about Ben this season.
Yeah.
Then we get Jen, who part of the reason I drafted Jen, I'm not gonna lie about this, is because of the bandana. I love myself Ted Lasso. Ted Lasso is warms my heart. It's one of my favorite things to watch. I rewatch that series all the time. And Jen's like a good positive force. And I really believe that from what I've seen.
Yeah, I have the pleasure of knowing Jen. I think my commander at Roxborough, that story is just something that like really connected me to her. And Yeah, I think a lot of factors, a lot of a lot of factors go into a vote, and when you have someone who's an older woman and someone who isn't being engaged with as much as the other castaways on the tribe, it is an uphill battle. And so I definitely feel for Jen when people are deliberating in this like short time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they really, and Jen really does shine. I feel like we don't get much of her. I mean, kind of one of the stars of the episode, but I mean, we're not gonna get. I don't know if we're gonna get much more of her because of everything.
Yeah. I think that the transition from like Jen telling her story to the ruthless like she's got to go is so funny to me. My boy Johnny throwing out Jen, and he was like, "Yeah, I feel
Who's in
like
the chat right now?
what up, Davey? Hi." He was like, "I'm a mix of Sandra and Tony, as long as it's not me, but also like being in the know." I think that tracks. It's a big bodacious claim, but it tracks for how Johnny's playing right now. I think I wrote down Johnny, Gabe, Jaleesa, Ben as like a block. That's really interesting to see.
Yeah, I can see that. And like definitely, Johnny's giving me kind of like leadery vibes at this point, which is interesting. I don't know how long it's gonna last or anything like that, but like he seems like a really fun player to watch.
Yeah.
Yeah. I like that Emma talks about how she can blend in.
Yeah.
I think that's such a very smart skill in a one-day game, especially, you know?
Yeah, I think that adaptability is super important. I also think that something that I'm noticing about Emma is she is letting other people call the shots, but also is an active part of those plans. Like I heard okay, yeah, like I'll do that, but also is actively talking to people and like hearing people out. I really like that.
Yeah, it's just I feel very good about drafting her first. So, Then we get to Jasmine, who's a teacher, one of our like I think 3 or 4 teachers in this cast.
Come on, teachers!
Let's go like 8th grade. Like, I really enjoyed Jasmine so far. Like I like how she's playing the game. I'm getting like Tasha vibes from Survivor from her.
Which season?
Probably closer to honestly Cagayan at this point.
Yeah, I could see that. Because I think that Tasha was a little muted in Cambodia, but I do love Tasha in Cagayan. I just like I want to meet her. She gives me like hey bestie vibes. Like
yeah.
I think that she is ready to play. She knows that she's ready to play. Yeah.
Then get to Amir, who is giving such full blown main character vibes. I have no idea. Like he has such a fucking chaotic episode. Half of it's his own doing.
Oh, my first draft pick. I'm also applauding you. Way to fill your oats. Way to like be on that like weight loss journey. And I really resonated with a lot of things that Amir said here. The story is just great.
Yeah.
He gives a lot of good energy.
And like he's very rootable. Like as a person that like deals a lot with anxiety myself, and it does come out like it does show itself because of my unnatural energy. I see a lot of myself in him. In that ways of like, okay, I know what I'm doing, but I hope I don't show it too much too quick.
Yeah.
And scare people or whatever, you know?
Pin.
Okay, we're pinning. I mean, we're going to be talking a lot about him soon.
We get to Jaleesa next. Also, I do want to just like quickly backtrack because we saw Paige and Manfred in the beginning of the episode. Paige, congratulations to your like achievements, handsome husband, loving the house.
Mm-hmm.
And Manfred, I love the fact that he quit his job and is now in this like transitional period. I think that when you're fun employed, you get to really explore. So super excited to see what he does.
I will always cheer for Manfred. Like, it reminds me so much of my fiance. She quit working at her jobs and did boot camp herself, and it's, all power and love and respect for that. That's not an easy thing to do at all.
Yeah.
I really love the fact that Jaleesa's big part of her intro is the fact that she's very familiar with Survivor Philadelphia. Yeah.
Jaleesa did it right. Like, if you want to play or you're signed up to play and you're cast for an LRG, please watch one episode of it before the time. Like, you don't have to watch the whole season. Just watch the first episode to like get yourself in the mindset. I remember when I first signed up for Survivor New York, my first LRG, I had intense like anxiety about like I don't want to be first boo. I don't want to like fuck it up. I don't want to like put myself out there to like fall flat on my face. And what I did was I watched the previous seasons and I really like got more comfortable with, immersing myself in this gameplay. So Jaleesa, you did it right. Snaps to you.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, like my first LRGs, like they did not record like previous seasons, or they were the first season. So like, the only like there's only been like 2 games ever played at that like ever that have like previous seasons I was able to watch. So, but yeah, I also like get our intro of Gabe, who has the. I just love the fact that he. I love his journey. Don't get me wrong, but like private investigator and DJ. It's just like the dichotomy is great.
That is like wild energy to me. Private investigator. I think it could be a double-edged sword, to be honest. Someone who like wants to follow the lead and like leaving conversations, but also because they're putting in the work to be investigative, to be an investigator. Sorry, yeah. I don't know. I think that he's gonna get the information to like really fight. That's what I'm feeling.
It's either gonna go really great or really bad for him. That's exactly the energy. Just because like that field is just, those fields are so like diametrically opposed. Then we get to the first film that Jen is on the outs. That's like the last thing we get from Roxborough at this point. Then we go back to Fairmount for more intro stuff. And we get Paige talking about how she's going to convince people to do what she wants because she teaches 14-year-olds. And that's what she does all day.
Yeah, I liked her. I liked her verbiage. You better manipulate it. Like, that's how they're going to be able to do what you ask them to do.
Yeah.
So I get you.
Yeah. No, she's fun. I like what we're getting so far from her. I really love Manfred talking about how he like withholds information, and like as a person that does customer service myself, I get everything he's saying, because like you have to sometimes be people's best friend so they don't stab you.
Yeah, I have used this strategy so much before. I just like love the withholding information and using it when you need to as like momentum. It's a good strategy, and if you're able to really utilize that information, it can work out for you.
Yeah. Then we get to Robinette, who's our other DJ. And one of my favorite moments of the whole episode is her talking to Timmy, who says hi, by the way.
Hi, Timmy.
And he's like, "What's your DJ name?" And she's like, "Robinette."
See, name theory like works out. I was like, Robinette is going to own that name.
It's a great name. I've only known like 2 people with that name ever, and one of them is current president of the United States.
Yeah.
That's the R, and Joseph R. Biden. But yeah. I also love like how a lot of Sunshine's intro is about how he got the nickname Sunshine.
Yeah.
And like how that's like now like a personality trait. I'm like, that is a fucking great name. Fucking great personality trait. Like you say Sunshine and it starts smiling. Like that's what that means, you know?
Yeah, I've had the pleasure of playing with Sunshine, and he is that kind of person. Like he just makes you feel like pretty joyful and like chill and happy. Um, I think that he got a really strong confessional like intro moment. Maybe those good vibes will carry on to the rest of the season. I don't know, but I'm rooting for him.
I drafted him because he felt cool. Like,
Yeah,
yeah.
lucky
And also,
you.
let's hope,
Mm-hmm.
and like one thing that I really noticed about the Fox, about the, oh my gosh, about this tribe is that they vibe really well. They have like
Yeah,
a good vibe to them. I mean, it's also that, like, first we just won a challenge
yeah,
and let's vibe and become friends right now, which
yeah,
is smart.
yeah. Agreed.
Like you have to use your time that you're given.
Yeah, you have to. You have to.
So
Um,
yeah,
yeah, I think I think the confessionals to Chrissy's point earlier, on point. Um, now it's time for the deliberation and the strategy.
yeah, where we
Yeah,
get a lot of immediately like it's probably going to be Jen. But literally, Amir like immediately asks Ben, Jaleesa, Jasmine, and Emma why his name keeps coming up, and
yeah,
it's really weird because they don't really say that they hear his name coming up.
yeah. I feel like Amir gives this energy where like if he hears his name, he's gonna like say it like I heard my name, like what's going on, and he has this like command where if you were trying to throw out his name, like it's probably gonna be shut down.
But it's also
Um,
the thing of like if you're
mm,
saying your own name, you're actually throwing out your own name. Like if I'm like David, you keep hearing my name Mark being said out there, right? You keep hearing Mark, like, and then like my name becomes a thing, depending on who I'm talking to,
yeah,
whether it is a thing or not. Like that's just real. And like Emma brings up to Amir that she heard Johnny say it as a decoy name to say to Jen,
yeah,
which isn't really a name. It means it's a 7-1 vote in theory.
7-1. Yes. But shout out to Emma, title up.
Yep.
This person that lives in Fairmount but is on the Roxborough tribe came up with I don't care about fair, which is a fair
Mm-hmm.
thing to say. Like I mean I have only like seldom fought for someone on the first vote to not
Mm-hmm.
go home. So I understand where Amir is coming from, and I also see where Emma's coming from. It is very admirable that Amir is protecting Jen and changing and trying to change the narrative. Um,
I mean, it is a sad fact about LRGs. Unfortunately, more older players, I'm not a young player myself, tend to get targeted first, and go out first or go out early. And like, it's it's like it's cool that he's trying to change the narrative.
yeah, yeah. Um, I I think that's admirable. I also I also will build onto that and just say like Ben did one of my favorite moves tactfully, or sorry, not tactfully, tactically in the game. Um, he he looks at Amir and he's like, "Well, if you don't want to do this and you're hearing this, why don't we just do?"
Yeah,
And then pushes Johnny or Gabe. He's like, "Well, the only options left are like that." That is an underrated kind of like maneuvering of votes. I like where Ben is thinking.
and it's just like literally like, okay, I'm reading the room, I'm listening to you. Cool. Who have we not really talked to too much
Yeah.
ourselves? That's what the vibe I got at that point.
Yeah.
Um, and that like it's really fascinating to see how that works.
Yeah.
Um, And we also get Amir like opens up his idol clue, and like the idol is at the voting booth, and then we get our second flash forward of the episode. Again, my mind just gets blown. You see his legs just shaking, like should be at a first tribal council because
Yeah.
anxiety is real.
Yeah.
And it's just I love that type of shit. I love that the seasons could like do that for us. Like I think that one of my favorite moments of season 45 is like watching Jake that like flash forward for Jake.
Yes.
It's great.
Yes. I wanted a messy first vote. I think I got it.
You did. I think you
I
got
did.
like genuinely. We're gonna get there in a moment. I know, like we're running close to timing for us, but like it's just like because at first it feels like it's everyone's like Jen, and then like Amir and a couple of people are like, no, let's not make it Jen, let's make it Johnny, and then like it actually catches on. Like
Yeah.
is so close. Oh
Yeah.
wait, I want to talk about my favorite funny moment of the whole episode.
Yeah.
So like Ben's in the middle of a confessional, and like and they're like just talking, and the next thing you know, a person like in the park just runs by, and they're like, "Oh hi."
Yeah. Yeah. That was a funny moment, to be honest.
But also, like, I really commend this tribe a lot for using their 15 minutes.
Yeah, they definitely used it, and then
Because it felt like the idea was it was going to be one person that probably it looks like at least halfway through the vote it starts to flip.
yeah, it looks like it's starting to flip. Yeah, I just think that it's so interesting because you have your 15 minutes or your 20 minutes, however, in your deliberation, and then you also have tribal. And I didn't think that it was going to be a live tribal. I mean, it wasn't really a live tribal.
It came close, though.
It came close because I think that Amir taking the mic and just being like, hey, this is what I want everybody to know, and this is how I'm not voting. So do with that what you will. I think that it was bold. It was at the time like informed. And I think that everybody sitting at the tribal council was just like, oh, okay.
But it's a thing of like, all right, so in theory, Amir knows there's probably 3 or 4 votes for Jen and 3 or 4 votes against like to for Johnny or whoever
Yes.
else.
Yeah.
And it's like if the vote feels that close, my brain's like, if I fuck this up, I could end up going home.
Mm-hmm.
And I really feel like you're right. Like it feels like he came close from that anxiety, energy, and yes, in the right place, but also still anxiety energy of trying to do the right move at the right time to save someone that he wanted to save.
Yeah. Yeah. I have mixed feelings about the whole result of it all. Yeah.
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 So Amir, when he goes to vote, he opens the lock and finds out that he has an idol now, but he does not have a vote.
Yeah. And I think the idol has the qualifier where you can only play it this round.
No, I think through Final Five, I think it said.
Oh, through Final Five. Okay. Yeah.
And I don't know, it's so tricky in my mind, like what happens like the next 2 minutes, because there's 7 votes.
Yeah.
And there's 4 votes for Jen and 3 for Johnny. And in my mind is like, if I'm like, did Amir spook Amir so much that like he was gonna have to play for myself? Which I mean, it's fair, play it out for yourself. It's your idol, but it's also like if you wanted to save Jen, you could have saved Jen.
Yeah, I think that Amir was caught up in self-preservation because at that point it's like I don't have a vote. I now no longer have anything to fight, like possibly my name being out there. So I think defensively, like his inclination was correct, but knowing that there's only 8 people on your tribe, and most likely half of the people are going to vote for your ally that you don't want to vote for, and you don't have a vote, I would have rolled the dice and played an idol for Jen, because at that point it is now or never, because you want to put yourself in the most dominant position. It's not about, oh, I have this idol, da 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 da. It's I have this idol. It seems to be 4-4. I don't have a vote, so now it's 4-3. Jen is gonna go home. I have to play this for Jen. But you can't really rationalize it in the heat of the moment because so many things are happening. So many things are happening.
And like the vote is Gabe, Jan, and Ben all vote for Johnny, and everyone else, including Emma, who was in the conversations with Amir and Ben, votes for Jen.
Yeah.
Which I mean, it's good. Like it's good that Emma was able to get herself in those conversations and did what was best for her game.
Yeah, and I think this and I know that I made Johnny sweat when I picked him third to last, but I was like, I just know based on what you've played that you are gonna find a way out of this, and he did. He was able to be on the majority side of this tribal, moving forward. It does make me scared for Ben, and it does make me scared for Ymir.
Why Ben?
Didn't Ben vote for?
Yeah, but I feel like Ben could pull it off, being like, yeah, well, it felt like the right thing to do. Granted, I feel like when Ben told Gabe, Gabe's radar went off and saying like, this is weird.
Yeah. Who was the third vote for Johnny?
It was Gabe, Jen, and it was Gabe.
Okay, good.
So I mean, clearly Ben's move of telling Gabe paid off.
Mm-hmm.
I'm also interested about the blowback of this after, how Ben and Gabe, who are in theory playing with the mirror at this point, handle this afterwards.
Yeah, because I would be sweating. It does not feel good and it does not look good to be on the wrong side of the vote moving forward in the first round of the game.
It's barely 8 a.m.
Yeah, it's barely 9 a.m. actually.
Okay, I thought it was in the hours of 8 for this whole episode, except at the beginning.
I don't know. I'm rounding up.
There's no time paradox.
I know.
I also want to before we get ready to wrap up. I really love that Jen talking about how she's tough. She might be 54, but she's really only 20 because of stem cells treatment after her scares, and she's in great physical shape. She climbed Mount Kilimanjaro, which is amazing.
Yeah. I feel for Jen because it sucks being the first boot. It sucks being not engaged with during deliberation or strategy sessions. My good juju out into the world, and my advice to Jen is just to continue being that person that wants to play. I think that people like Ymir will stand up for you because you are a great player and you are a great presence. There's really nothing that she can do that. Jen is such a phenomenal person. She is one of the most interesting people in the world. I wish people would see Jen for all that she is, and she's great.
But it also sounds like she might not be done yet, at least because the way the episode ended.
I knew you were going to get to that. Yes, she is not done.
At least not this episode.
Okay, yeah, at least not this episode. I love
it. It might be minute 2 on this episode airing tomorrow, but
I know. I love a good cliffhanger.
So she the camera's still on her. She what's this? Is a twist? Is the twist? And there's a table with 6 red blocks on there, and it looked like a piece of parchment, but I couldn't obviously you can't really tell anything because it cuts away and that's the end of the episode.
Yeah.
So I do believe it's an Edge of Extinction situation, that first confessional from Alex said 6 hours in. There's 6 blocks. This is where my brain's going.
Yeah. Yeah. But I don't know what's gonna happen, but I'm so happy we're doing the coverage today because we can just watch tomorrow.
I'm so excited talking Survivor again with you, Davey. It's so much fun.
Yeah. I'm excited to see more character development, more great confessionals. I think this was a strong start. And I'm very excited that I still have 8 people on my draft.
I'm okay. I knew I was gonna lose someone eventually. I'm proud I've drafted Jen, and I have no regrets about that.
Yes.
So we should get ready to wrap up. Obviously, people will, if you want to watch us live, we'll be here, I believe, every Monday night around 7:00 Eastern. We're figuring that out still. I know we're the last of the coverage because I feel like we have our on some podcasts with exit interviews, and then also like I know that like the Purple Pants podcast is doing coverage on there, and Survivorcast International is doing it also. But we're the best in our own personal opinions.
Hi, Cody. Hi, Jackie.
You guys are great. Enjoy it. I laugh a lot with all your stuff.
Yes.
Davey, how can people follow you? Anything interesting happening?
People can follow me at DAVEYYSAK. That's on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. Yeah, just reach out. Like, I love chatting. If you're part of the cast, like, please give me your thoughts. I love feedback. I welcome it, and I'm excited to see the rest of the season.
Yeah. You can follow me at MarkLevy85 on Twitter and Instagram. I do a lot of TikTok movie reviews. I might try to get the movie review show back up here every once in a while because I feel like there's a lot of good movies coming out. I just saw Sing Sing last week. Really, really good stuff. But Movie Mark on TikTok, please follow. Got a video doing pretty well right now about Deadpool and Wolverine. Good stuff there. But also, I'll be meeting some of the winners of Lego Masters this week when they're in New York, which I'm really excited to do. And you can see photos of me with that after Thursday. But we will be here next time, talking episode 2. It's been a blast, Davey.
It's been a blast.
We'll see you next time.
See ya.
Bye.